Good day, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Unfiltered Party. I am White Noise 401, along with my co-founders in crime.
Zaire.
Neil.
And today's
That's when I got
topic
fucked up.
up is something that was brought
Yeah,
up
they got
by
fucked up.
Mr. Zaire here. It's quite an interesting topic, but nonetheless a topic. So without further ado, Zaire, the floor is all yours.
All right. So today's topic is Pokemon. A very, in a way, kind of controversial topic because
Gotta
the
catch
way,
'em all.
not only that, but the way it has evolved. Has it got better? Has it got worse? Well, for me, I feel like it has done both. In certain extent, it has got better. Certain extent, it had got worse. Especially with the new remakes of Diamond and Pearl. I'm pretty sure White Noise really has the opposite opinion of mine. But I think it's good so far based on what I see. Hopefully they didn't change much. It's just, it looks better. And you know, there's other games that are pretty shitty. Like, in my opinion, like Pokemon Let's Go Eevee or Let's Go Pikachu. That's one of the games I never really like playing. Also, Sword and Shield were one of the last ones that came out before the new ones. So, it's alright. But they are changing a lot, and hopefully these games can make it worth it. Like the new game that's gonna come out next year, that is Pokemon, I think Legend Arceus, something like that. So let's start with the first opinion. White Noise.
You're actually going to ask me my opinion on the matter.
Yeah, you go first because you're the one that has the most. You know, you can put up a fight.
All right. I have several things over the last course of the generations involving the Pokemon or the Pokeverse in terms of the games. There's a lot of things I can pretty much say, but I'm going to narrow them down as bluntly and as briefly as I can. Number one, here's the problem I have with today's direction. It just has no general sense. The reason why I say this is because it can't decide what kind of game it wants to be. It's not like Legend of Zelda. Legend of Zelda pretty much knows what it wants to do. Granted, it has evolved from 2D to 3D platforming, where now it's open world based. I mean, we have Breath of the Wild. But you want to know something? It doesn't try to do anything out of the ordinary. It still sticks to its roots. So the premise of the game is to defeat evil, no matter what order you're going at. But no matter what, you're still defeating the evil that is either Ganondorf, whatever other villain you're supposed to stop. With Pokemon, there's just no sense of direction whatsoever. I mean, granted, I like the open world concept, but why do you have to be a trainer to experience that? This is almost like Pokemon Go was really unsuccessful in my opinion, and I feel like in this generation now, things have gotten extremely lazy. Things are just too simplified for a newer audience, where older audiences had to pretty much find out the mechanics of how everything works. And before any of you say, oh, but, you know, they're promoting new things and giving change. No, I understand where change is implemented, but in this case scenario, it just doesn't work. Especially when in certain Pokemon games, they've taken out features and then tried to reintroduce them, and it just doesn't work. I mean, what was Pokemon beforehand? I mean, let's take an example. Red, blue, and green, or green, if you're in Japan, and then yellow. These games solidified, but didn't offer much. They did solidify an RPG-based kind of gameplay and provided a story behind that. Then it continued on with Gold, Silver, Crystal, same scenario, although more features were added, more stats were also introduced, and more moves, as well as more Pokemon. Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. Now, this was a game that pretty much revolutionized a lot of the graphic mechanics and offered even more than the previous generation. Then came Diamond and Pearl, again, revolutionizing the variety of Pokemon as well as more storytelling. But this is where I kind of stopped because I felt like once they came out with Platinum and they introduced Arceus, it didn't really make sense for them to continue, but I still gave these games a shot. So where do we go from here? I didn't know at the time until Black and White was introduced. And I gotta say, it was disappointing. It was very disappointing in my eyes. It just had no luster whatsoever. And then came X and Y. As in, why did this happen? Why did this occur? Why did it even exist? I mean,
What noise?
It was just...
You're missing something. Did you realize what you're missing?
What?
Are you saying they did a good job when they did Leaf Green and Fire Red? When they did the remake?
I'm not, for the premise of this podcast, I'm not going to include remakes because at the same time they're introducing new things as well as things that were all previously established. So it wouldn't be fair to judge remakes when I'm pretty much, criticizing the actual games and the content of which they were originally introduced. So I'm just gonna stay to that point. To that point in the standard, I'm gonna stick to this format because a lot of the features that were included in Ruby and Sapphire were also introduced in Fire Red and Leaf Green. But at the same time, I can't really talk about those games because one, those games introduced features that were in Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, games that were first introducing this style. So that's why, for all intent and purposes, I'm not gonna talk about remakes to that caliber. So where was I? X and Y, yeah. Why did this even happen? The moment they introduced Mega Evolutions, I felt was incredibly lazy. This was by far one of the most desperate attempts to boost visual appeals of a game. And keep in mind, this was only limited to certain Pokemon only. So there were many gripes about it. Some people pretty much applaud it. I mean, yeah, some of the evolutions were cool, and then some of them were just downright ridiculous. And then after that came Sun and Moon. Now, this game I had major problems with. There were major things I disliked about this game. There were major things I hated about this game. One of those being they took away the gym system and instead put challenges. Who do we think we are? Are we the Battle Frontier? Is this what's going on now again? Because let me tell you something, in my opinion, when they tried to introduce that Battle Frontier in Emerald, it sucked. It sucked big time. Because if I wanted to play something like that, I would have been playing Pokemon Coliseum for that kind of excitement. I would not be playing Battle Frontier. And Sun and Moon I felt was a very lazy game. You didn't raise your favorites anymore. At this point, it was just more about picking the strongest and not coping with anything but that. And let's be reasonable about this. There were freaking footages of people putting their Pokemon in daycares and then doing the most bare minimum in raising. Nobody was putting in effort in this time period. I mean, that's not to say that this was becoming a trend at this point, but it was already becoming a trend. But this was like the most emphasized generation where effort was at bare minimum, and I hated it.
Do you think I can add something to that?
You can add all you want, buddy.
No, I agree with what you're saying. But you know what? You're right. There's certain aspect that they changed the whole concept. You know, it's funny because there are other games that came out just for like bigger system, like the GameCube, stuff like that. You got Pokemon Gale of Darkness. They stick to the concept, even though they changed a little. And
granted, yes. But you want to know what? At least those games were actually sticking to their title. They weren't trying to be another game. They weren't trying to do anything else. They were sticking to their original intent. Nowadays, nowadays with Pokemon, it doesn't even know what it wants to be. And now take a look at this new game that's coming out, Pokemon Legends Arceus. Like, first of all, you just retconned the entire lore with your Pokeball being shown in that trailer. Because from what I understood, and this is what y'all pretty much said in the actual lore, that Pokeballs were invented in apricorns. And not only that, but they had to fit in a special device just so they could capture the Pokemon. So how is it that from all those years ago, because basically the footage showed that it was from the past, how is it from all them years ago you're able to use a regular looking Pokeball with, like, that just disrupts the entire continuity? I don't get that. I really don't get it.
Time travel.
Like, what are we, like, mixing Pokemon with Back to the Future? Are we gonna see Marty McFly having a Pokemon? Or are we gonna see Doc Rivers capturing some kind of legendary? Yeah, that would make perfect sense.
You know, it's funny. You're right, and I see that point too. You know, because back in the days, well, according to the Pokemon history during the anime series, they show a Pokeball that they gotta turn in order to use it. And there was never a concept you throw the Pokeball opens automatically grabs Pokemon. You literally had to turn it. Like, you know.
Yeah. And like I said, it really depended on your skills in capturing Pokemon. You know, weakening it, using the specific generalized Pokeball in this situation. And it also depended on the terrain also, but that was later introduced in the third generation. As for the first two, it was strictly based off chance. It was based off chance. Unless you had the Master Ball, then yeah, it was based off chance.
I'll be honest with you, you know, the concept with the new game, Legend of Arceus, I think is just like if you're playing, well, if you go into any Pokemon game, but you end up going to Pokemon Safari. You see, when you go to Safari, you don't battle Pokemon, you don't weaken them. You can either throw them a rock or you feed them and you can catch them.
Yeah, but like I said, this concept for this game, it's like, it's not meant for Pokemon in general. It's meant like for another type of game. Like, I don't want to be a trainer in an open world. No, I would rather be a Pokemon in an open world, like the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. See, that's a series that should have implemented this open world concept. And you want to know something? They would have sold. It would have already had me sold the moment, you know, that concept was interlaid together. And I would have been like, okay, yeah, I'm getting this game because this is a concept that works. This is a concept that was already established. And if you already saw this game as a handheld, and then picture it now as a freaking Nintendo Switch game. Now that is a blockbuster game. That would have been a noteworthy title. But this whole concept with the trainer, it's just not doing it. And overall, for years, they have been implementing Pokemon, especially with inanimate objects. I kind of find it lacklustering, and it's just like, at that point, like as soon as they introduced Arceus, they should have just called it the Tower and not focus on creating more Pokemon, but rather more storytelling at this point. Because you already made Arceus as the god of all Pokemon. Debatably that you made Mew the ancestor of all Pokemon. But we're not going to get into that debate because that's just ridiculous. But anyway, you already established a deity Pokemon after you introduced not only Giratina, Palkia, and as well as Dialga. So what else is there? What can you possibly be a deity Pokemon at this point? It just doesn't make sense to me. And overall, I think that they should have closed the gap in making Pokemon and just focused more on story. And right now it's become a commodity just for people to look at visual appeal, and people will ignore everything else of what made Pokemon to begin with. But I rest my case. So now it's your turn, Neo.
Well, to begin with, I would start with the system that they changed, the battle system to level up your Pokemon. decided to implement the whole Pokemon Go system, where all you have to do is just throw your Pokeball, catch the Pokemon, and that's basically how you would level them up, unless you receive these candies of that one specific Pokemon. But instead of using the candies, they just decided, you know what? Let them catch Pokemon. If they catch them, they level up. If they don't, well, they don't get shit. So, to begin with, on that part, it's like they took away the whole thing that made Pokemon, which is battling wild Pokemon to level up your pocket monster. Because I remember years ago when I first started playing it, I had to grind levels for my Pokemon to get stronger and so on. But it's like they just scrapped that and they're like, you know what, let's make it easy for you. Just catch all these Pokemon, you can release them, but you'll be able to level up your Pokemon at this rate. And the other issue I have with the Pokemon games nowadays is the lack of creativity when it comes to designing new Pokemon. It's like they went from being creative and making something amazing to just taking typical household items or anything you see in daily life, such as gears, keys, and so on, and implementing them as if they were Pokemon because of some mutation of some kind. Which I
Don't
find,
forget Trubbish.
no, which is what I'm saying. It's like anything you see outside, all of a sudden it's a Pokemon. Like, what's next? The food? Like, think about it. Think about it. I'm gonna open a can of cola. All of a sudden, it's a Pokemon. I can't drink it. Like what the fuck?
my lunch meat has become Hamola. I choose you.
Or what if I make myself a sandwich? All of a sudden, it's gonna become a Pokemon too. Like, really?
Yeah.
From now on, it's like, oh, you want me to make you dinner? Oh, don't worry, I'll go outside and catch it. You see over there? That's a bowl of pasta. I'm gonna go catch it because I'm hungry.
Like I'm gonna use my Pokeball to capture a cheeseburger.
Damn, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they run out of ideas.
That's exactly what it is. It's like a 5-year-old can come up with a better concept than that. Like, come on. Even my drawings from when I was in kindergarten look something better, more of a Pokemon than what they're fucking making at this point. It's like, what's next? A gun Pokemon? Like really?
Don't give them ideas. Don't give them ideas, man.
My favorite Pokemon, the shotgun Pokemon. Shoddy.
No, hey, they
special,
already got a Pokemon that's
his special
they already
ability.
got a Pokemon that's already a sword and a shield, so why not?
Bro,
I can slash, hone edge.
Bro, white noise, Neo. Pokemon World War 1, Pokemon World War 2.
I don't really. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna call it Call of Pokemon. That's my new concept for a game. Call of Pokemon. Guess what? Your loadouts? What are they? Pokemon. What's that grenade? It's not a grenade. It's a Pokeball. What's
Fire! Incoming Pikachu!
What's your tactical? Oh, it's a Pokepuff to raise the stats.
What's your sleeping gas? A Jiggly.
Like, what's next? My sniping Pokemon has a special, has an ability. What is it? 360 no scope. Like that's what's missing. That's exactly what is missing. Next thing you know, they're gonna take consoles and make them into Pokemon. Hey, look at this. It's a Super Nintendo. Wow. Where can you find those? Well, you find them at the beginning. They're level 5. It used.
Hey guys, guess what?
It used Tetris. Like.
Hey guys, guess what?
What?
I've been living inside of a Pokemon for all my life. It's my house.
Like, think of it this way: the way that people explain about the evolution of humanity. It's like, okay, supposedly we come from monkeys. What about Pokemon? Does that mean that we came from Infernips? We came from the fucking.
We came from mankeys.
That's exactly what was gonna happen. Next thing you know, people are considered Pokemon now because we're evolution stage to them.
I don't know, man.
Like, like that's how ridiculous it sounds to me. The fact that they suck at fucking creating concepts for new Pokemon.
Well, then I guess we must be a mutated Pokemon because we seem to have a Pokemon in every part.
I gotta be honest. Next thing you know, fucking Plan B Pokemon, fucking condom Pokemon. Like shit, you can't even throw them away. All they do is evolve.
Condom, the latex Pokemon.
That
It
gets
spends
ridiculous.
its time around collecting the dew and residue off other Pokemon,
didn't
especially
work.
during intercourse.
It didn't work. You gotta evolve
Like-
into Plan B.
Like what I think they could have done is what some other companies, like game developers I have seen, have done. Like for example, Hi-Res sometimes has a contest where they would have people vote on fan art. And if I remember correctly, I know one time they implemented a design that a fan made for the contest, and they were like, "Oh, you know what? This contest is about people voting for the best design. Best design gets to be in the game as actual skin." Yeah, they can do something like that where they can have a competition for the fans, that they can create their own Pokemon, and then it's like the best voted, the number one voted Pokemon will be implemented to the game, like something like that. They could have done that, but no, they just decide, you know what, we can do it by ourselves. Look around the office and choose what's gonna become a Pokemon.
Yeah, reminds me of the fake mon that were also introduced. They look 10 times more better than the actual designs at times.
Like this is the exact reason why I went from playing the original Pokemon games to playing the hacked ROMs that people have created, because there have actually been really well done Pokemon games that are created by fans. Like an example, Pokemon Flora Sky. Another example, which is pretty good, is Pokemon Uranium. I enjoyed Pokemon Liquid Crystal. I've enjoyed Pokemon Eruption, I think it was called. Like all these games are created by the fans, not by the company themselves, and it's done so well. You would think that the creators are the ones that came up
This
with
would
that
be an
idea.
actual Pokemon game.
No, exactly. It's like they could implement those type of things, but it's like they're rather stubborn about keeping it amongst themselves. And they're like, you know what, we have to do a better job. But guess what? We own Pokemon. Who cares about these people? You know, it's kind of like with the Fallout series, where you know Fallout 76 was a disaster when it came out and all this stuff, and then Fallout 4 was good, but some people, you know, still criticize it for some of the bugs and glitches that haven't been fixed yet. But then you got people asking for another Fallout game, you know, to take place somewhere else. So what the fans did is that people who have experience modding the game decided to recreate an old Fallout game into the new engine, or just create a whole new Fallout storyline themselves. Such an example: Fallout Miami, Fallout New California. You know, those are really well made mods that create a whole new story for the Fallout series.
Wish they would do a Fallout.
Let's do a Pokemon apocalypse.
No. What's the bomb? Grimers and monks?
But that is basically my opinion. In general, I think overall Pokemon has downgraded in terms of the way the game is played. Graphic wise, it's an improvement, but just story wise and battle system wise, it's downgraded a lot, in my opinion. Oh, the left now is for Zaire to give his opinion now.
Well, one thing for sure, I definitely agree with the certain aspect of what you guys say, and you're right. The game has evolved. It for me, like I say, it has a good thing and a bad thing. You know, there's a lot of games like I don't push people out from, like the new Pokemon Shuffle, stuff like that. I get it, they've done it before, like Pokemon Pinball, stuff like that. Like side games, I get it. And those games, I don't like, you know, I don't say shit to it. But other than that, I mean, the new Pokemon games that are coming out, I think they have improved in graphics, but I feel like the graphics are, I can compare it to the GameCube in a way, if you agree. But
No, absolutely not. I would have to disagree very much.
I'm saying that.
Even the GameCube graphics are a lot better than the ones for the Switch at this point. And
Do you
that's
agree,
saying a lot for
White
Pokemon.
Noise? What do you think, White Noise?
I'm gonna put it like this way: the concepts for the games, like on the GameCube and previous generations, they were rich, they were ideal, they actually work. The concepts for now is just too dang stale. And it just and at times the concept doesn't even work with the game they're trying to show off. And it's like, what kind of game is this? Like, what audience are you trying to target?
There's something else that ruins it too. Is the lack of concept for a new villain. Either a new villain or a new group.
Hold up, Neil.
It doesn't even have to. That's the thing. It doesn't even have to have a villain. It's just the fact is there's just no legitimate story that keeps me interested enough to see what it's about.
No, but you have to remember that in these games, in the old games, you had Team Rocket, you had Team Aqua, Team Magma, Team Galactic. You know, you have an antagonist side that was adding onto the story. And
hold up,
wait, hold up. Let me finish really quickly. I'll let you talk. And they went from having all that to then having a hippie who loves Pokemon and whatnot as a villain. It was okay at most. It wasn't the greatest, and then they downgraded when they went with whatever they're called from. Shit, I already forgot I'm guessing the Alola region. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck they're called. Fucking want to be downgraded Team Aqua with fucking black and white and shit, and then having that. Yeah, those fucking idiots. Like, they're just a downgraded version of Team Aqua. They're like the first concept of their design.
They're the gangster. They're the G.
And then from there, then you got fans, stalkers becoming Team Yell. That all of a sudden they're the antagonists. They have nothing to do with the story. They're just there to just annoy the fuck out of you. like they couldn't even come up with a better group. Like, at least bring Team Rocket back. At least they develop something good. Like, shit.
Nah, I wouldn't want to see Giovanni scrubbed down to the levels of how all those other characters are at this point.
Yeah, but
He's legend. He's he can stay away.
But I'm saying, because at this point it's like they can't even come up with a new villain who's, you know, good enough to add on to the story to make it interesting. It's like at this point they're going with whatever they can think of immediately.
White Noise, Neil, look, fun fact. Before we continue with the topic of the whole villains and that, I just remember something. I was one of those people that during the time before the 3DS, the DS came out, I was one of those people that got super excited when Pokemon finally was able to make the character flexibility more loose, if you know what I mean. Back in the days, when you move, it was just square. And now after the rotation, the perfect roundness, like, it made the game better for some reason. I don't know about you, but I was pretty excited when Pokemon developers managed to fix that. Instead of going square,
That's all right. Okay, that's fine in itself. I mean, more accessibility for movement is one thing, but it doesn't change the fact that the overall experience is just something that's just not pleasurable. You can put all the features you want, but if you have a game that's just not worth 2 cents of your day, I'm not, like, I don't want it. Don't want it. I don't care if you can run around. I don't care if you can go in all 8 directions on the joypad. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me. If the story's crap, that's what you're gonna get. Crap.
Let me be honest. You could make the most perfect game with no flaws in terms of, system-wise or interface-wise, or even making the characters look so flawless and realistic. But at the end of the day, you mostly focus on the story. Okay, what good is it to have a game that has no bugs, no glitches, has a perfect battling system, has the greatest character designs you can ever come up with, but it lacks a proper story to go with it? It's like you're just gonna get bored of it and just gonna look at it like it was a picture frame.
I mean, if you think about it, like it's a good concept of how they were doing things, but they kind of went down with story mode. And they just made it mostly PG. They're aiming more for younger kids, especially with that anime.
In other words, the concept is good, but the execution was terrible.
Yeah, you can't use that excuse on trying to cater to the kids, because you want to know something? They had that chance when they removed the battle feature. They had that chance when they were moving up the level up feature. Only to bring them back? That's just not acceptable at this point. It's not acceptable under any standard. That's like me making a ham sandwich and I'm giving it to you knowing you don't like ham, and then I'm just saying, hey, eat the sandwich anyway.
I mean,
Is that something that's okay with you?
like I said, they're aiming for the younger generation. I mean,
At this point, they don't even know what they're aiming for.
But
They're just doing it for the commodity and for a sale. Slap a title and be like, yep, that's what we're selling.
Yeah, but you gotta remember, that's not much of an excuse, because Grand Theft Auto, Call of Duty, all these other games don't even cater to kids, but yet they sell a lot with kids. And it's like you don't really have to change the way the game is in terms of either making it rated E or rated T or rated M. In the end, if the story is good, if the game looks good, people are gonna be interested no matter what age group. It wouldn't really matter at the end of the day. It doesn't matter if Pokemon was rated E or it went to rated M. If kids like it, they're gonna like it. If adults like it, they're gonna like it. If neither likes it, well,
I just thought of a new concept for a new game for Pokemon. Pokemon ABC and Pokemon 1, 2, 3.
Might as well just call it Neopets at this point.
Tamagotchi.
I'd rather have a Tamagotchi than fucking deal with the newest Pokemon shit. I'd rather go back to Duel Masters. The fucking the fucking knockoff version of Yu-Gi-Oh.
You rather play Bakugan?
I'd rather play Digimon.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'd rather fucking play Beyblade.
Oh, stop!
Wow.
That's how bad
I thought what I said was bad, but that just got worse.
I felt like that's the thing. As much as I cannot stand Beyblade, but you want to know something? it
What?
sticks to its concept.
Yeah,
What?
fuck
Pokemon
it.
has- Pokemon has this freaking identity crisis where it can't distinguish what it wants to be. Oh, I don't know if I want to be a cool kid. I don't know if I want to be a popular kid. I don't know if I want to be the jerk. I don't know if I want to be the nerd. I don't know if I want to be the overly excessive annoying person, the lone wolf. It's trying to be all these things and it just can't do it. It just can't do it. And that's why I'm like, until they revolutionize a game where it's actually acceptable, I will not purchase any freaking Pokemon game. End of story. I will still play all these fan-made games that were way more interesting than the current ones.
I'm gonna go a little bit further. I'd rather play Hamtaro for the Game Boy Color
Wow.
than play the newest Pokemon.
I mean, it wasn't a bad game, but it never did more than just that game. And that's the last game I think it came out. Because there was a Hamtaro for Game Boy Color, if I recall. And then the last one was for the Game Boy Advance SP, I think.
Yeah, but I'd rather play that Hamtaro than Pokemon at this point. It's not that I hate
I'd
Pokemon.
rather get frustrated with Cat Mario than play any of the current Pokemon games.
Yeah, the newest Pokemon isn't bad in terms of looks, but the whole battling system and all that is what really gets to me.
Just give it a try, man.
That makes me want to avoid it, like if it was COVID.
Patience, man. Give it a chance. Next thing you know, you're gonna tell me you'd rather play Earthworm Jim.
You know what?
Play Earthworm Jim than that.
You know what? I'm gonna DM Nintendo and I'm gonna tell them, hey, why don't you make COVID-19 a Pokemon?
What is it?
Don't forget to include Ebola and swine flu
and SARS.
Is it gonna be, hold on? Is it gonna be the next fucking what you call it, that experimental fucking legendary? What's it
exactly. The basis of the new Pokemon is gonna look like a turkey baster. Yep.
You see this fucking Genesect. You see him? He literally comes with upgrades, like a fucking laser fucking.
Bro, Genesect looked like a purple gun version of Quagmire. That's it.
Genesect looks like a concept of Frieza that has never made it to the board.
Like, this is Frieza's forgotten form.
And it shall stay forgotten.
Hold up. How about the trash Pokemon?
Trubbish.
Yeah, Trubbish. What do you think of Trubbish?
We already
I would give them credit that they want to go green at this point. That's the only way to recycle trash. Make it alive.
Wow.
Yeah, and Garbodor.
I mean, you gotta admit that there were some great designs in the Pokemon game and series, including Lucario. Lucario, I think, was a perfect design.
Yeah, but like I said before,
I don't think so he looked like a freaking mutated leprechaun.
But like I said before, my problem is with the concept they made after Sinnoh. Like all these other Pokemon just look stupid.
No, and I also agree with the comments that White Noise and you have said before. Like, you know, ever since they released Arceus, stop it. Once you release a God of Pokemon, stop it.
No, that's the other problem. It's like they couldn't wait on it. It's like, no, we gotta introduce the god of all Pokemon right now. It's like they contradict Mew and Arceus because Mew is supposedly the ancestor of all Pokemon, and then Arceus is the god. And to me, it's like, so wouldn't Mew be Arceus's ancestor, or is it that Arceus created Mew, that then Mew created the rest of the Pokemon? Like, I don't get it.
This is why I said the lore right now, they just continue to discredit and just overwrite. It's at this point now that they don't even follow their own continuity, and it's just for the sake of being a commodity and just selling it.
Man, it's just like real life where nobody even knows what the Bible actually says. You guys go off what people tell them.
Exactly.
Do you think that game went down as well as the anime series?
I just, I just stopped watching it after the whole thing with Senna. Because the rest of it I just found this stupid. I'm like, make this kid older. Stop making him 10. It makes zero sense at this point. And then you got like all these other companions and shit that look stupid. And and then you got the fact that Ash has a lack of strong Pokemon that you would think he would have, but he doesn't get.
Wait, hold up. But I mean, in the
And
new
then
series,
and then don't even get me started on that other fucking Pokemon series that Ash, they redesigned his whole character design and it looks stupid. It looks like a fucking 12-year-old drew it as fan art. But it just looks ridiculous in my opinion, and I'd rather not even touch that.
I mean, art style changing is one thing, but in my opinion, when it just doesn't fit the character at all, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't.
I mean, I agree with that. I already did, and just like
I mean, don't get me wrong. There are certain animes that have changed their art style, but it still did the job, and the transition was nice. But this transition was just god awful.
It's just
And
like
I'll
High
be-
School DxD.
Hold up. I'll be honest with you.
Exactly.
I had seen White Noise. I had seen your reaction with the new look for Jesse and James and all that stuff. I seen Neil's reaction too with all these designs. But you know what? Neil does make a point where Ash could have all these good Pokemons that he could have caught, but didn't. Because look at the new series. Because I had catched up with it. I forgot the name of the other fucking main character, but Ash and his new partner that travels with him, he caught a Suicune. Like, what the fuck is that? I've seen a Suicune celebrating. It doesn't make sense.
At this point, he's making it seem like, oh, now it's easy to catch a legendary. It's like, how
No,
does that
exactly.
happen?
You know what's crazy? In this series, they added to Ash party, they added Gengar, Dragonite. Like, these are Pokemon that he should have. I thought he even had a Gengar, and he left it with one of the gym leaders.
Yeah, it was Haunter.
Well, even so, his Hunter, he could have trained it and evolved it into a Gengar. Like, it doesn't make sense to me that they're introducing these Pokemon.
It's just the fact. It's just the fact that they went back and decided to redo the whole series in a whole different way. Just changing the start of everything.
Like, no joke, they even added a Riolu that evolved to a Lucario. Like, that's the most craziest thing. And the whole concept that I'm pretty sure that White Noise gonna hate, and you too, Neo, the fact they went to Mega Evolution and you thought that was shitty already, and then they went to that Gigantamax.
I'm just staying away from all that because to me that just doesn't make any sense. Just like pendulum summoning from Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Link summoning, they just don't. I don't see the point of that. That's just like a cheat code to me.
Well, overall, we had some very interesting opinions on the direction of which Pokemon is going. And unfortunately, I don't speak for everyone. Well, I don't speak for the other two. I generally do not like the direction of which the series is heading. And I feel like it's only a matter of time before it eventually decays, rots, and dies the way it should.
I'll just say this as my opinion. I like the designs, the new designs that came out for it, the graphics and stuff. I just hate everything else. So the art style is good. Pokemon concept, new Pokemon concept, the battling system and all this other stuff is lost to me. I just don't want to deal with that. I'd rather not even just see the series. I'd rather just stay in denial.
I feel like, I'll be honest with you, I feel like White Noise and you guys been offended for too long. I mean, you always get offended when there's something new. I understand your opinion.
It is not being offended. It's just the fact that these people suck at creating something new and interesting while still keeping the originality that it had before.
Okay. Like I said previously, and I'm gonna
Just
say
like
it
Boruto.
again, there's a difference between not liking something and just reviewing something that is trying to implement a change and it just doesn't say say Dragon Ball Z, right? I don't like how they're Super Saiyans and they don't give Krillin and Yamcha enough screen time. That's disliking. Here's an example of something just does not work. Pokemon trying to implement a battle system in the game, then take it away after they already established the ground that, okay, so we're not battling Pokemon that much anymore, so we're raising them to be our companions. Okay, cool. Only for the battle system to come back when you already took it out in the first place. See, that just doesn't work. That's you just caving in, knowing that because your decision basically made the series fail, now you want to try to put it, weasel your way back in it again. No, you don't do that. You have to stick to the concept.
No, you know it's crazy. I feel like what they're doing is like taking away. You gotta work hard to level up your Pokemon to fight certain Pokemon. I give you an example in Fire Red and Leaf Green, even the old ones Blue and all that shit. You had it to fight all these gyms, beat the elite whatever, and then you had it to fight like Mewtwo and stuff. And you're supposed to be in a certain level. Now, when they added Mega Evolution, I feel like that was just like a steroid boost. Like, fuck, doesn't matter what level your Pokemon is, Mega Evolution is gonna boost you up. Like, it doesn't make, for me, I did like certain design, but it did not make sense to me. You know what I mean? Like, oh, don't worry, your Pokemon's level 50, this Pokemon's level 80, Mega Evolution. You know what I mean?
The worst part is when they decide to implement them in the remakes of Pokemon Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby. And I'm pretty sure they're going to implement the new things into the remake of Diamond and Pearl now. And also the fact that instead of deciding to remake Pokemon Emerald and Pokemon Platinum, they decided...
You got all these different type of, different ways of playing Pokemon now, especially for Mega Evolution. So, yeah. What about you, White Noise?
Like I said my piece already, so I'm all good. But anyway, that's it for this episode of the Unfiltered Party. White Noise 1, along with the hosts
Desire.
Neo.
And we'll see you for the next installment of the Unfiltered Party. Be sure to check us out on our Facebook and our Twitter, as well as our other platforms that we will post our episodes on. Also, leave a comment down below if you want us to talk about a specific topic of your choosing. And we'll see you on the next installment. Until then, take care.
White
Peace out,
Noise.
fuckers.